Hello everyone, my name is Matt Scorpion, and welcome back to another week of Destiny for a reset. Now, I wanted to put a few things on the block, and these things kind of coincide. Sorry for no 12 video this time around. There wasn't much in the game that really seemed like it was changing. It wasn't worth much of, telling you about it. It seemed a lot more of, outside of maybe an emblem, there wasn't things that the average player could really do with it, aside from maybe some light reading. And a second part, I apologize if I don't sound like I have as much effort in my voice with these this and the Eververse video this week. I've been going through it, so I might not sound so usual. It's not because of a cold, it's just I'm having a rough time. So kicking off with the rest of the world, Grandmasters are still continuing on, and this week's Grandmaster is Brakazan, which is one of the most farmable bosses in the existence of Destiny. So, if you wanted to go for the Grandmaster variety and get an Adept duty bound, supposedly according to Light.gg, that's what's up. One of the people in my Discord said it was Hothead Comedian, but I think he's still using the old version of Nightfall drops. But starting off with the modifier Scorched Earth for more grenades from enemies, Barrier Unstoppable for Cabal, Chaff for no radar, Grandmaster modifiers for match game, needing to match shields, equipment lock, extinguish, limited revives, mob champions, and solar and void shields specifically, but also acute solar burn. And supposedly, according to Datto, the main weapons guide to kill Brakazan, at least in terms of the final thing, weapon setup, is pretty much just Galahorn and 2 other legendary solar rockets to burn Zan. Of course, Datto has a video out on how to farm this for stuff if you so wish to go for it this season. So, moving into the rest of the world, there's no gambits, nothing new with that. I'm pretty sure Invasion Labs went off without a hitch, and feedback to be seen, I think, in this next TWAB. And for Crucible, Iron Banner is actually available right now with Team Scorched as our rotator match, and I'm not sure if we got the usual Scorched thing. So you know what, before we get too far, I'm just going to go ahead and visit Mr. Saladin, who's actually back for the first time since he's officially... No. I kind of hope they, just in honor of it, they adjusted his armor. Wait. Did his armor change at all? Maybe his mark's different. Or have an acknowledging line from that thing. But for bounties, Around the Fire, capture zones in the Iron Banner playlist. Maneuver Warfare, defeat opponents while your team holds zone advantage. Iron Confidence, defeat opponents with final blows from any weapon, bonus progress for energy, power, and higher opponent enemies. And the Route, for defeating opponents in Iron Banner. So I think this is one of the easiest arrays we've ever seen of Iron Banner bounties, because it literally results in capturing zones, defeating enemies while ahead, defeating enemies, and then defeating enemies. So, yeah, that's pretty much how it goes. Defeating opponents. Yeah, that's specifically weapons, and that's just defeating opponents, if you don't know the difference. If Arsenal of Tricks was in here, that would be the 3 variety, where it would just be defeating with guns, and defeating with abilities. But moving into the rest of the world, to check with our raid challenges, for Vault of Glass on Master Mode, it is Gatekeeper Challenge, which is basically you have to kill the the sacrificial harpies and the Praetorian at the same time, and if you do that, you can get a Masterwork Hezen Vengeance available from Vault of Glass. And per the usual, it is strength-focused armor this time around, if you so wish to make a melee build that you need the strength stat for. But moving into the rest of the world, to check, let's see, Europa, well... what's the challenge for Deepstone Crypt? Copies of Copies, Atrex Challenge. You all well know what that is about. But one more challenge to check on the moon. I forget they relocated the moon in the director. And that is the Garden Challenge, I believe is the final boss Sanctified Mine Challenge. Where you have to basically fill the deposits from each side, red or blue, to 0 to the max in less than like 30 seconds or so. There's some way about it. If you need a guide, I'd recommend somebody far better at that raid. But moving into the Throne World, Preservation has rotated once again, and we have for our weekly mission, the Ghosts, which is skipping the second mission, if I recall, where you actually meet Finch. So I'm not sure if it's just some weird rotation or not, but yeah, it is mission number 3, where I'm pretty sure it's that really annoying one they have to deal with way more of the light spores and that knockoff hangman boss. So, in the rest, with the Wellspring kicking it off for our boss today, it is Tarnation on Tuesday, which going as follows. Tuesday we'll have Tarnation, Wednesday we'll have Felterdiddle the Bow, Thursday we'll have the Sniper, Father Sins, then Friday we'll restart our rotation with the Auto Rifle again, Saturday we'll have Tarnation the Grenade Launcher, Sunday Felterdiddle, Monday with the Sniper again. So, going all the way around, it should be, that should be, of course, I'll have something on screen in case I screwed it up during recording, but yeah, that should be our Wellspring weapons rotation for the week going forward. Now, was there anything else I missed in the Throne World? Ah, yes, there was. A quite obvious one. Looping Catalyst, the new challenge for Vowed Disciple. I don't know which weapon is available yet for... Well, actually, it's not Challenge Master, so actually I'm thinking too far ahead of myself. But for this raid, it's basically... Don't use the thing that gives you the leeching buff more than once in, like, a wave. Like, you basically just can't lose the buff the entire time. If you do it correct, you should have no problem. This is kind of like Tanics, where if you're doing it correctly, then you shouldn't have to worry about this challenge. You shouldn't adjust strats, but aside from that, yeah. Just don't lose the leeching buff and don't use the crystal that gives you the leeching buff more than once, and you will be able to complete challenge mode whenever Master arises. Now, speaking of challenges, I missed this last week, so I'll be sure to kid it this week. Crush Spirits. Any person who's been playing the Witch Queen long enough should already have this done. Basically killing 100 Lucent Hive ghosts. So, if you crushed ghosts and you've been crushing them, then you should be good. And a Vow of the Disciple challenge is basically, I don't know, it says acquire a raid recipe. I don't know if it means craft one, but pretty sure it just means unlock a pattern from the raid and complete a raid challenge. Now, as the weeks go by, some challenges are easier, some are harder, but they're all manageable to the average person, I'd say. And as well, Pinnacle, reach 1560 by earning Pinnacle rewards. If you don't know what Pinnacle means and you're wondering why it's saying 1560, but your character is 1578, it's basically saying reach max power without your artifact. So every one of your weapons will have to say 1560, in addition to every one of your pieces of armor, in order to officially gain 1560 power in just the world and everything. Now, moving on, seasonal calibration. Basically use glaives, hand cannons, and rocket launchers. Just use those anywhere. Bonus progress for using glaives and killing guardians with those weapons. And serpentine skin. Acquire the serpentine skin ornament from Records in Danger, which could be summed up as simply playing Gambit and get the ornament for the seasonal weapon. So, that being said, moving into the rest of existence. Now, I will admit, I haven't been checking Ada just because she seems not so worth it in terms of the armor department, but Banshee is weapons and will always be required. Now, spoiler alert, Under Pressure Frenzy, it's hard to say whether or not this is a good option. It's hard to get my opinions on pistols just because little sidearm pew-pews have never been good in my book. And Ragnhild D, Subsistence Frenzy, Assault Mag, and Corkscrew Rifling. It's a solid enough roll. Of course, with this gun, if you wanted this just temporary, it's good, but if you wanted a good one, I would recommend just making it and building it yourself. The Decide, Rapid Fire, Slide Shot Demolitionist with, honestly, two of the worst barrel perks. Because don't get me wrong, Smoothbore gives you the most range, but it hits your projectile spread. I used to love this, but then I started using Full Choke instead, and I instantly forgot about it. With Tac Mag and Light Mag, it's not the greatest option, and most people use 1-2 punch with those. Now, Stochastic Variable. This one is a unique one, and I recommend people pick up specifically this SMG. I don't know if it's guaranteed to happen, but this comes with a unique perk that has since been lost since year 1 of Destiny. And it's not a Killing Wind or Melted Kill Clip. Now, going through it, you have Melted Kill Clip and you have Killing Wind, decent enough rolls, with either Armor Piercing or High Cal, with Extended Barrel or Full Bore, the maximum range that this thing could have in either direction. But then there's a unique perk in the form of Phase Mag, which it pretty much says what it does. It increases damage while lowering the rate of fire, but also restricts your magazine size slightly lower. Now, you're wondering, is that meta? It's hard to say, just because it turns a lightweight frame, which has almost always been rounded at 900 rounds per minute, into a vertical frame which, correct me if I'm wrong, is a 600 round per minute submachine gun. So I might recommend that if you want something just to be unique and possibly a unicorn gun, just because that mag perk doesn't exist anywhere else other than SMGs, I'd recommend folks you go and pick it up. Now, going on and continuing Typhon GL5, Unrelenting with Adrenaline Junkie and Spike Nades, Velocity Masterwork, not terrible, but of course once we're able to craft this thing, probably is going to fall by the wayside. And of course class-specific swords, which all have Jagged Edge and pretty hit or miss perks depending on which class you got. Supposedly the Warlock one is awesome, Hunter one and Titan ones are sucking this week, according to LUT.GG. Now, that is everything throughout the rest of the world. Oh wait, I almost missed one thing, although this is kind of a not so important thing, so it's appropriate to leave it to the end. Fallen Hive and Zydron on the Weight of the Hoof, the Dares of Eternity challenge for this week. And with that, my name is Mad Scorpion, and I will see you in the Eververse video, but then that shall be all for this week in Destiny, unless I think of any good things to put into a video. That I will see you then.
Stop being concerned, no chances keep on passing us by. We're looking up.